Hi, my name is Josh Markovich. I'm one of the teaching assistants here at the Jim McLean Golf School, the beautiful Miami Beach Golf Club here in Miami Beach, Florida. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the big stick, the driver, the big dog, the hammer, whatever you call it in your Saturday, Sunday foursome or your group of buddies at the game, or even at Topgolf. You want to be able to hit the ball farther and higher than the rest of your friends. Being able to drive the ball well is probably the most fun you're going to have playing golf. We can hit it a long way and keep our balls in play. We're going to be on our way to lower scores, better golf, and a lot more enjoyment of the game. So let's talk to you a little bit about how the driver is different than any other club in our bag. The driver's going to be our longest club in the bag. Okay? It's also probably going to be the lightest club in the bag. It has the biggest head, biggest face that we can hit on, as well as it, apart from our putter, obviously, it's going to have the least amount of loft. Now, getting a driver with the proper amount of loft on it is going to be very important. So if we have a slower swing speed, we're going to need a little bit more loft to help that ball get into the air and carry and fly a long way. That's why some people with slower swing speeds say they hit their 3-wood or 5-wood better and farther than their driver. That's probably true because they're playing a driver with the incorrect loft. Now, hitting a driver is also different than hitting a typical iron shot or fairway wood shot because we're always going to be hitting the driver off a tee peg. We're going to have ball in hand on the tee, so we're able to tee it at any height we want. And also, this is going to be the only shot we can practice on the range to do every single time repetitively. So, because the tee boxes are typically all going to be flat, the driving range is flat, and we can control how far we put the ball into the ground. So, really, we shouldn't have any excuses to be a bad driver of the golf ball. So let me put the tee peg into the ground here real quick. Now, when we're teeing up a driver, it's recommended that we keep probably about half the ball, a quarter to about half the ball above the club face of the driver. That's what a lot of the PGA Tour players and a lot of professional golfers do, to tee that ball a little higher. Now, why do we tend to tee that ball a little higher? It's because we want to try to keep our hit on an ascending arc with the driver. We don't want to come down and hit down on the ball with the driver. That leads to a loss of power and an increase of spin, so it doesn't go as far. When we hit the ball on the upswing, it launches higher with less spin and goes farther. Now, our setup with the driver is also going to be a little different, so we're going to work from the ground up here. We're going to first work on our stance. Our stance is going to be the widest of any other shot we have, because we're going to have the most amount of turn, most amount of weight shift. Okay? With the driver, we're going to turn our left foot out towards the target a little bit. That's going to aid in getting us having a bigger turn. More turn, more power, farther the ball will go. We're going to turn our foot out a little bit, bend at the knees, weight about 50-50 here. Now let's look at where the ball is. The ball is going to be more towards the front part of our stance. Why? Because remember, we want to hit up on that golf ball. So we're going to play it more forward in our stance, off the inside of our left foot, or somewhere close to our armpits, somewhere in that range. Set up to the ball, grip the club how we normally would, okay? When we hit a driver, people tend to tense up a little bit. We want to keep a nice light grip pressure. We want to be able to have someone pull the club right out of our hands and not even have to try to force it out there. Keeping a light grip pressure keeps tension out of the swing. Tension breeds bad swings. So keep our grip pressure nice and light. Hands even with the golf ball. Our weight's going to be about 50-50. We're going to make a big turn back, turn through. Make sure we try to hit up on the golf ball. And then come into a nice balanced finish and then rebound so we can see where the ball goes. Now, Jackie Burke, legendary teacher and great player himself, he talked about how he thought you should have your mind when you're hitting a driver. he doesn't want to focus so much on an individual target, whether it's a tree out in the distance or a bunker you're trying to hit over. He wants you to pretend like you're hitting balls into the ocean, kind of like that Seinfeld episode with Kramer when he was hitting the balls into the ocean, hits it into a whale. George has to go out there, says he was a marine biologist, pulls it out of the great beast, something like that. Focus on just making a good swing and don't worry so much about where the ball goes. If we have our setup correct and make a good swing, the ball is going to go where we want to. So let's go over our setup one more time before we hit a ball. Our stance is going to be wide, slightly outside the shoulders. Our left foot turned out towards the target. Weight 50-50, slight bend at the knees. Set the club down. Light grip pressure. Super light grip pressure. Spine tilt away from the target a little bit. That way we can hit up on the ball. And now we're ready to swing. Do you guys have any questions when it comes to driving the golf ball? I'll be glad to answer any questions that you guys have. If you have any sort of comments or concerns, I'll be